Hello, my name's Pearce and I'm here at beautiful Denman to show you some floral art videos. One of the most important things that we need to do when we're using floral plant material is to actually condition it. Now, conditioning, what does that mean? Well, it actually means to give the plants an opportunity to take up water so that they become very turgid before we start using them in floral arrangements. It's really, really vital that this happens. This can be the do or die really of your floral arrangement and it lasting for as long as you need it to. Now, to condition plant material, we need to make sure that it's cut fresh, preferably in the morning before the sun gets to it. And we cut our plant material, put it in water immediately, but then before we start to use it and before we start to condition it properly, is to strip some of the bottom of the stems, like that. And then to cut your stems at a really sharp angle and to place in water for anything up to 48 hours really before you use it. This gives the plant a good opportunity to take up as much water as possible. So again, just with another piece of plant material, this of course is the lovely rosemary that I've just done, and this is Pittosporum tenuifolia, this one. And I'm just going to take off the bottom stems. It's really important that you do take off any foliage that's likely to be underwater. Your water only needs to be about 2 inches deep because the stems are the only part that actually take up water from the bottom. And we cut the plant material at an angle so that when it goes into the container, it's on a slant like that, so it has a chance to take up water and it gives it a bigger surface area. And again, this is a lovely hebe. Called willow leaf hebe, and again I'm just going to cut the bottom of the stems at a really sharp angle and pop it in the water. And as I said, that will stay now in the water for 48 hours before we actually start using it in any of our floral arrangements. And with flowers as well, whether you've just bought them from the supermarket and they've been in water all the time, you still need to cut the stems as soon as you get home, because quite often, although they are in water, they actually haven't been in water for maybe a few days. They will have been in a fridge. And what happens is the bottom of the plants actually seal over, and it's difficult then for them to take up any water. So when you get your flowers home, again, you need to strip off the leaves, because the leaves will actually feed a lot quicker than the flower itself, so we need the water to get up to the flower. And you can see there on the stem how dark it is on the bottom, which actually shows that it's actually sealed over now. So we need to open up those vascular bundles again by cutting it at a lovely sharp angle like that and popping it into the water and leaving that for a good 12 hours before we start using it in any floral foam or indeed in any design. And again, some lovely stalks. Oh, I wish you could smell them. They are lovely. Take off all the leaves of the stalks because they get quite floppy, and the stalk is from the cabbage family, so it can get quite smelly as well, and particularly if you don't take them off and you have them in the water. And I'm just going to take off a couple of these flowers, which are probably not so good at the moment. And again, cut the bottoms at a lovely sharp angle and popped in the water. So they will now stay in water for at least 24 hours for the flowers and probably 48 hours for the foliage before we actually use it. A couple of the important things is to make sure that your water is really cool and nice and clean. Wherever you're storing your plant material, make sure that's cool as well, that your buckets and your vases that you use are scrupulously clean, because otherwise bacteria will get into the flowers. Also, with conditioning, different flowers take different conditioning techniques. So if you've got very hollow stemmed flowers like delphiniums, one of the things you can do is actually turn it upside down, pour water into it, then plug it with some cotton wool before actually using it. And this will make sure that the water does get right to the top. Woody stems, if you just slice a little bit of the bark off of the bottom 2 inches before you put it in the water, that will also help with the absorption of the water. So that's how we condition our plant material before actually using it in a design. I hope that's been useful for you.